Well, it's a very big day for the opposition National Democratic Congress. It has elected its flag bearer. It knows who is leading it into battle in 2020, but the lieutenant is yet to be identified. That is a big ceremony here. Party supporters, party faithful have come to the NDC headquarters in Adabraka in Accra. They are waiting the arrival of the flag bearer of the party, John Dramani Mahama, to announce to them who he has settled on. Several names have been bandied about. But now, when it's cut to the chase, who really represents the party alongside John Dramani Mahama in 2020? That is under discussion today. The National Executive Committee of the party is expected to have a meeting here. Which meeting? And already the executives are in there. Now, it is at this meeting that John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the party, would come to give to the party what his choice is for subsequent announcement to the public. And as I speak, it appears the former president is just arriving in there. The motorcade is emerging, the motorcade is just coming in there. The motorbike that is leading, the dispatch that's leading the former president. The crowd are ecstatic here, excited, happy to see the flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, emerge. Now, he is a man who's going to lead them into battle. He's going to eventually tell them who the running mate is. Is it going to be Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang, as has been mentioned and speculated, or is actually going to be a surprise of the heart? He has come in now, taking the salute, and they respond me to the cheers of party supporters. So it become apparent now. The National Democratic Congress flag bearer John Dramani Mahama, former president of the Republic, has since settled on a candidate.
As you may be aware, the flag bearer of the NDC just had a meeting with the National Executive Committee of the party to consult us on his choice of running mates for the 2020 general elections. That is in line with the constitution of the party, like I've already said. The consultation has taken place. Earlier, he had consulted members of the Council of Elders of the party who had given their support for his choice of running mates. At the next meeting we just had, there's been a unanimous approval of the National Executive Committee of the choice of running mate by the flag bearer. And so I can tell you that the running mate of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for the 2020 general election is Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang.
I appreciate many characteristics about leaders generally, but three interwoven strands stand out. The first is keeping the vision in constant view. Second, maintaining at the forecourt of one's mind the impact of actions on others. The third strand, emanating from the two, refers to leaders who use power to empower the powerless. My experience working closely with His Excellency John Mahama has led me to really respect these characteristics about him. As a result, I have come to appreciate him as a leader of humility and integrity, concerned genuinely about the underserved, a leader by whom we can stand. It is not surprising that the country's own understanding of his vision for education, for health, and for social protection continues to grow and to gain currency. For servant leadership, I go for JM.
Well, so the announcement has just been made there. The former president, John Dramani Mahama, who is NDC flag bearer, has just decided to settle on Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang. Mr. President, well, he's just driving out now after having decided on who his running mate for the election would be. Let's move in and see if we can speak to some party officers, executives maybe, or members who have been coming around here. Samuel Nate George is MP for Ningo Pram. The flag bearer has decided. Your comments?
Fantastic choice. As far as I'm concerned, I think that the 2020 election is actually going to be about the implementation of free SHS. Free SHS is the major selling point of the Akufo-Addo administration. Are Ghanaians happy with the way their children are getting impregnated and their children are having small class hours because of the traffic lights in the free SHS? They've set up an SHS desk at the presidency. Today you are going to have a vice president who understands education and will be able to ensure that we properly implement free SHS and make sure that Ghanaian children get proper education.
Talking about your candidate, so the trend has been that you choose a running mate or a vice president for that matter who understands economics. You brought in someone who is an educationist. How are you going to argue your way out of the economic of things?
The first running mate of the NDC,
I have said that it's a trend.
Was Aka. Aka was not an economist. When Prof. Samuels came in, Prof. Samuels did not come in on his strength as an economist. He came in on his strength as a taxman. So it is not correct.
Is it the case that you are simply not able to find any economist worth the salt to be appointed as a running mate?
There is nowhere where it says that your running mate must be an economist. When John Kufuor appointed Aliyu Mahama, who was a civil engineer, was he an economist? Yes. There is no criteria that says that your running mate must be an economist. And we are saying that when you pick Bawumia, who is an economist, what has he done as an economist?
Thank you. Someone I say George is NDC MP for Ningo Pram. Let me speak to you. Are you an NDC member?
Yeah, I'm an NDC member.
What do you make of the new person who's been unveiled?
Oh, that woman that has been chosen is fantastically good, because Mahama has the right to choose whatever he wants. So he chose the woman that is good to help him to develop the country. So simple understanding.
Is she very youthful, this person you have appointed as your running mate?
I have worked with Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang when she was Minister for Education. And if you look at the team around her, look at the people that she works with, she is youth-oriented. So as a youth organizer, as a young person, I am confident that I have a vice president in waiting who has the interest of young people at heart.
What do you mean by she's youth-oriented? What has she done? Her deeds, her actions. She sent people who were supposed to be training to be teachers home because they didn't have money to pay school fees because allowances were withdrawn. How do you describe such a person as having youth-oriented mindset?
Allowance. If you want us to go into the argument of the allowance, and let me put it on record that the NDC as a political party, we never withdrew or decided to cancel allowances. What we did, and I think that we have failed in the communication, and you and I will agree with me, was that we brought out a scheme that we were migrating all the students that were, teacher trainees and nursing students onto the student loan trust fund. So that just like their colleagues in the universities at the time were receiving loans, which they will pay whilst they are working, we're migrating them.
Let's have more understanding of who Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang is. Fred Tete Jabano is my colleague in the Citi newsroom, followed the National Democratic Congress and its activities a number of times. Fred, this was not a surprise candidate because we had already done our permutations. But who is Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang?
Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang is a former education minister, as we all know. She used to be the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast. She is currently the chairperson for the Forum of African Women Educationists. Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang has spent majority of her working life as a teacher, a professor in the university. She headed the English department. She was the founding dean of the graduate school of the UCC till her appointment in 2012 to become education minister. At that time, she hadn't been involved in any form of politics.